Hello, this is Toshi Shimada, music director and conductor of the Eastern Connecticut Symphony Orchestra. We have a great concert coming up this Saturday, March 18th at 7:30 at the Garde Arts Center. And we have today special guest and one of the guest soloists for this concert, Gene Stenger. Welcome.
Hi, Toshi. Thank you for having me.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
We had a concert over the summer, last summer, or summer before anyway, and at the Vineyard, and the audience were really excited about your voice, and you participated with Sarah Joyce also, and so I had to bring you back in no matter what. So just happened this happened to be this big, huge piece for tenor and the horn and the strings. Opportunity was there, so immediately said, call Gene. And I'm glad you could do this. And so
thank you so much for having me.
The piece itself is we're going to talk about in a moment, but would you tell us what you have been doing since the Vineyard, or maybe the first go from where you're from, and all these things for people who is not familiar with you?
Sure. So I'm originally from Pittsburgh, PA. I did my bachelor's in music and voice performance at a small private liberal arts college with a conservatory in Cleveland, Ohio, called Baldwin Wallace University Conservatory of Music. Then I went on and did my master's in voice in opera performance, and that was out in Colorado at Colorado State University. And then did a second master's in specializing in sacred music, early music, and oratorio. And that was at Yale University's Institute of Sacred Music and the School of Music. And so now I'm still based in New Haven and sing professionally full-time. I travel across the country, hired as a soloist to perform in oratorios or as a soloist with orchestras, and also do chamber ensemble singing. And in addition to that, I also teach private voice at Yale. I teach voice lessons to undergrads that sing with the Glee Club, and then graduate students that sing with Schola Cantorum. That's the early music ensemble at the ISM.
Wonderful. You are busy. I know that from all the posting too. And recently you have been singing, was it Evangelist part of the Bach St. Matthew?
Yes, yeah, I do a lot of evangelists in the Bach St. Matthew Passions and St. John Passions.
We have to do that someday with us also.
That would be great
for me.
So, I would love that.
If we do that, you'll be our evangelist. And in any case, so now the Britten Serenade. The piece is very interesting because it was written during the World War II, kind of darkest time, and this was right after he had some kind of measles infliction, and he was very sick, and then he conceived this piece because of not Tenor, his partner, but Dennis Brain, the horn player. And so I hear that Dennis Brain was told that by Britten, I'm going to write a piece for you. And so he was thinking it's going to be a horn concerto. But it turned out to be it's a piece with tenor and the horn solos and the strings. And the horn part in the original state, it was very difficult to play, I hear. So even the great horn player, Dennis Brain, had to really, really practice to see if this piece works or not. And he did practice, and then it became this piece without only few alteration in the horn part. Now, let's talk about your part, the tenor part. And it is a difficult piece, I know that, because it has all the emotional difference in the 6 songs has a different emotional states and thing. Would you tell us what you're feeling about this piece?
Sure. Well, so I would say that the Britten Serenade, so it's different poems written by different poets, and the piece as a whole reflects on the approach of the nighttime or the approach of darkness, which can actually be like a metaphor for the journey from life to death. And so, you know, in the beginning, it's the first, I'd say the second movement that the tenor and the horn are together. It's a very calm, serene, describing the nighttime. You know, it's the beginning of the journey. And then it, as the piece continues on into the other movements, the orchestration starts to get a little bit more complex. It starts to intensify. The vocal line also becomes much more complex. The tessitura is very high. So it certainly takes you on a journey.
It was, of course, written for his partner, Peter Pears, but he was a wonderful, of course, the tenor as well. So Britten knew what he could write to him for him, you know. So
right.
Yeah. And how is it to perform as a horn player? I know that coordination is kind of it's challenging sometimes, you know, because it's interact so much. And so you had a rehearsal already with Matt Miller, and he mentioned that he really loves working with you now. So it's going to be great. And there are, of course, other pieces written for voice and an instrumental, but this is very more involved, I think, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, definitely a lot of, I would also say a lot of call and response sections, and certainly a lot of movements where the horn and the voice really have to unify together, I would say, which really makes for a very, I would say, very intimate, unique experience and performance.
Yeah, and you know, it's a lot of mysterious feeling, mystical things, you know, this piece, and I feel that's why I paired with Brahms' Requiem. Had Brahms used a tenor for Requiem, I would have used you to sing with it, but just wrote for soprano and bass baritone, so couldn't. But I just had to have this piece paired with it, and so I'm very much looking forward to it. Any future engagements coming up?
Yes, doing Evangelist in Bach's St. Matthew Passion and the Messiah with, it's called the Messiah Festival of the Arts. It's in Lindsborg, Kansas. Then returning to my alma mater, Baldwin Wallace Conservatory in Cleveland, they host a Bach festival every year. They actually host the oldest National Collegiate Bach Festival in the country. They have that every year. So I'll be going back for that. We're doing Bach's B minor Mass and a program of Bach motets. And let's see, after that, I'm doing a Bach Magnificat with a group in New York called Tenant Vocal Artists. Doing a Mozart Mass in C minor with Pioneer Valley Symphony in Springfield, Massachusetts. Another B minor Mass with Canticum Novum in New York.
Wonderful. That's great. So you're really the Bach specialist now, in a way. And,
but you could say that.
But this Saturday, you'll be a Britten specialist, and we are looking forward to our performance, really. And thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. I love singing Britten, too. This will actually be my second time performing the piece, but I really love having the opportunity to perform more of Britten's music.
Great, wonderful. All right, thank you so much, and see you soon. We have a rehearsal tonight, so
yes. Thank you so much, Toshi.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.